Hi, Julie Degenhardt here. I am retiring this year from LaGrange Elementary as a third grade teacher. I've taught all 16 years of my career at LaGrange in third grade. I wrote some thoughts that I'd like to share with you. The energy and excitement children bring was my motivation for becoming a teacher. There is never a dull moment when working with children, and the rewards are priceless. I have thousands of memories filled with the excitement that only children can bring. Many of my memories stem from helping children through the struggle of learning new skills and being with them to share in their joy in their accomplishments. I've helped children make the transition from learning to read to reading to learn. I love sharing their excitement over a favorite book, listening to their discussions, and helping them arrive at answers to their very many questions. I love seeing the kindness and compassion that so many of the children have for each other. And I love accidentally being called Mom many, many times over the years, and recently even Grandma. I had so many heartwarming moments with my students. I can only hope that I was able to give back to them as much as they gave to me. I have always been proud to be on staff at the Tomah District. It was a dream come true when I was hired as a third grade teacher at Tomah and could begin teaching in my own classroom. I have always been inspired by the teamwork present in Tomah schools. I've enjoyed working with and learning from my many colleagues, my principal, Michelle Clark, and many others across the district. There is no match for the abundance of energy a class full of students bring. I will miss my students and the wonderful, dedicated staff I was blessed to work with. High on that list of staff are the paras. I could not have done it without them. I look forward to spending more time with my own family, including my 5 grandchildren. Thank you to the school district and administration for showing us, your staff, that we are valued. Also, a huge thank you for keeping the elementary face-to-face this past year. Needless to say, I will never forget my final year of teaching. Thank you for letting me be part of an amazing school district for 16 years. Best wishes to all. Bye.
Hi, I'm Jane Payella, and I started teaching in Neenah as an aide in a classroom that had the 9 most kids with the nine kids with the most severe disabilities in the district all came to one school. And I really loved that. I learned a ton there. And then I came over to Neenah. I got a teaching degree, and I've been in Neenah for 15 years, teaching at the middle school, the high school, summer school, and I led student council, art club, quiz bowl, and art honors. What's my favorite thing about teaching? I love sharing my passion for art, but my bigger goal for the kids, it was to help build the confidence in their ability to learn. I'm a big fan of gradual release of responsibility, so I would start with lots of small demos and skill sets and gradually show the kids how to explore and problem solve on their own. My goal was to build confidence and lifelong learning. So why did I become a teacher? I love art and I love kids and I hate to sit, so it was really perfect for me. My first memory of teaching, I really don't have any first memory other than being terrified. Advice for someone who's thinking about teaching: spend the extra time to know your subject. You might end up teaching a subject here and there that you don't really, it's not your main interest. Get to know that subject. Your passion for it will show for the kids. And the second is just really to get to know their kids and their lives outside of school. Show them that you care. That will make a big difference to the kids. What was your favorite subject that you taught? I taught art and I love teaching art. My favorite was clay, because I think clay is very democratic. Almost anybody can make something nice out of clay with the right guidance. And I also really love teaching jewelry. It had a lot of tools, and I think that's very important for kids to learn how to use tools nowadays. I think art is an excellent outlet. It helps kids be creative, but also it's a really good pause in their day. I think that's very important for them to have, especially nowadays. Funniest thing that happened. Well, I worked next door to Lisa Winchell almost all of my teaching career, and that in itself is always a hoot. And I do remember one time when we dressed up as, it was dress up day. So we dressed up as members of KISS, and we had the full hair, face makeup and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. Words of wisdom to pass on to students. Don't be afraid to dream big. If you have a dream, search for people who are going to support you in that dream. There's always going to be someone in your life that will tell you that your dream is impossible for you. Ignore them. Search for the people who might want to help you and ask for help. People want to help you. What is something your students have taught you? I have learned so much from my students daily. I truly think I have become a better person because of my students. And one of the things I really miss about the students is I really miss learning the new words that are out there, because they always had new words and then they turned into the dictionary. I miss that. Advice for new teachers: be flexible. You don't have to have the answer right away. Be willing to say that you made a mistake when you do, and you will. And seek help from somebody, the other teachers. If you have a specific challenge with a student, find out who that student likes the most, and ask them for advice. Ask that person for advice. What will you do in your retirement? So first off, I'm making art every day. That is a huge help to me. Having art in my life has been just a huge help. But most of all, I'm recovering from cancer. I have a rare blood cancer that is supposed to be incurable, but I am like really gonna beat it. So it's been a huge, tough time in my life. I started with heavy duty chemo while I was working, and I went through a year of that, and then I had a blood transplant, and then I've had a whole year to recover, and I couldn't come back to school because my immune system is still quite weak. I'm not even really supposed to go out too much right now, other than outside and things. But a year ago in April, I could only walk 90 feet. And it has taken me physical therapy, exercises every day, walking every day, really taken me a lot of work to get my muscles, which were just attacked by the chemo, to come back. And now I'm walking 3 miles a day. And I walk every day, even if I don't want to. So it's been really hard. So the main thing I want to say about this is that I couldn't have done this without the outpouring of support that I got from everybody in the district. Teachers, the staff, people from other districts, or other schools, and the district office, Robert Joyce, the school board, even the new superintendent. People really showered me with love and support, and I really appreciate it. I don't think I could have done it without you all. And what the district did for me was helped really ease the stress that this could have had and help me heal and, you know, have a time to recover. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate everything that everybody's done. So for new teachers, the biggest value that I can see staying in this district and staying here in Tomah is that in my time of crisis, the district had my back. So I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much.
My name is Todd Kirschbaum. I'm retiring at the end of the 2021 school year. I've been teaching here at the Tomah Area School District for 30 years. I taught at LaGrange when I first came in 1991. I was hired the day before school started. From there, I've moved on. I taught at LaGrange for 5 years. I've been here at the middle school for the last 25 years teaching 6th grade math. Prior to that, I taught in 2 different schools in Minnesota, in Elk River, Minnesota, as well as Zimmerman, Minnesota. And then I ended up moving over here. Anyway, some of the favorite things about teaching, I enjoy working with the students. I think they've enjoyed my class over the years, at least most of them. I like to have fun in my classrooms and at the same time teach things, I enjoy working with math and seeing the aha moments that people get and, follow along. It's good to push kids a little bit and make them struggle, and I think most of them will come through. We get what we expect out of them, and so that has been one of my fortes throughout the year, to expect a lot, or throughout the years to expect a lot, and get as much as I can out of students. Favorite memories of teaching? It's pretty tough to say because I've had quite a few out of 33 years. It's pretty tough. I've done some unique things in my classroom to get attention, whether it's jump on tables, hide stuff in the ceiling, whether it's maybe throw somebody's pen down the hall. There's all kinds of rumors of things that I've done in the years. As I see the smiles in the room, you can remember this. Became a teacher, not really, years ago I decided, probably about 6th, 7th, 8th grade, that I wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to become a teacher and coach. Those were the 2 things I was interested in, and I followed through on that. I resigned from coaching hockey as well this year, and so on. What is my first memory of teaching? This is a question I have in. My first memory is not really a positive one. My first week of school, I had a student pull a knife on me. And so that was a unique experience, but I was a lot larger and bigger. I used to be a college and professional football player, so I was a lot bigger, so I was able to handle that quite well. I'm sure I'd get in trouble if I handled it the way I did now, if I did that now from what I did then, but I was able to come through unscathed, let's put it that way. I guess as students, as people coming into the field, my suggestion would be, just have fun and remember that you're here for the kids. I think sometimes as teachers, teachers as they get older, they think that the kids are here for them, but just remember that you're here for the kids. I don't care how smart you are. I mean, you're in the people business. Until you know their names and can communicate with them, it doesn't matter what kind of teacher you are. You need to have a great rapport before you can do anything with whatever subject you choose. Advice for other teachers. One of the things you need to know is a lot of times we don't think the kids are listening, but they're watching. Students watch every move you make. They may not hear you, they might not follow your directions, but I'll guarantee you if you trip, fall, move, wear something different, the students will notice. One of the memories that I keep getting reminded of in the last few years, one day I jumped on a table to get attention. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to do that. And magically the table broke. So yeah, we had to replace that. So that was kind of unique. And so on. Moving on, I'm moving into retirement. I hope to stay busy. I do a lot of construction in the summer months. Though it'll be a lot slower, myself and Mr. Repka plan on continuing that process, doing some construction to keep busy, like I said, and also finding time to play. So, we'll do a lot of fishing, a lot of hunting, and do a little work, and hopefully, my wife and I will get along. So, things that my students have taught me, the last thing is, the students have been great. Students have taught me that, it's about communication and it's about we need to get along and we need to work together and to be honest and treat them as adults. You get a whole lot farther than you would if you talk down to them all the time. So I guess, yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, my name is Mike Liga and I am the 5th grade teacher, or was the 5th grade teacher out at Wyville Elementary. I've been here for 27 years in this very room. I've been teaching for 29 years. I actually started teaching in Richland Center at a little school called Aiken Central where I taught 5th and 6th grade together. And then I followed my wife to the Tomah School District. And like I mentioned earlier, I've been teaching in this room for 27 years. I've had great opportunities to have some wonderful students and great families, and I've worked with some great ladies, mostly ladies. There's been some pretty good gentlemen out here too, but in the elementary field, mostly females. I look back at my years at Wyville, and I have some great memories, and I think some of the best of them are going to be focused around our mini feast that we used to have at Thanksgiving. We used to have a carnival in the spring. Just great time for families. It had very much a family atmosphere. The smaller building I appreciate. When I look at my actual teaching throughout the years, I enjoy teaching all the subject areas because I get to see the kids and what they're good at and what they struggle at. And I'm a big believer. I got into teaching because of coaching, that you can do anything you put your mind to. The thing I really like to teach is math, because it's very, once you learn the rules, there's no tricks to it, and you just keep applying it and going from there. So I like building off that. Language was fun for me. Anybody who knows me, I like playing around with words and stuff and making people think. My biggest goal in teaching was to make sure that the kids believed in themselves, because everybody has the ability to do things. If you put time into it, if you put effort into it, you'll get better at it. Will you be the best? I don't know. But when I would coach all the time, and I even preach it to these kids in here, the only loser is a quitter. So as long as you're putting effort in, you're going to be fine. After teaching, people always ask me, what are you going to do, Mike? To be honest with you, I'm going to be a teacher until September, and then I'm going to worry about what I'm really going to do after that. But the fact is, I'm probably going to be doing some labor work because I enjoy moving around. I'm just a doer type of guy. So I'll do that, but September is when I'll start looking in some different things because, of course, even though I'm retiring from teaching, I'm not retiring from life. I'd like to thank everybody, all the kids that I've had. I'd like to thank all the families that I've had. I'd like to thank everybody that I worked with. Most people know that I can be kind of a different individual to deal with that moment. So I appreciate everybody giving me support over the years. And I really appreciate what Tomah's done for me. And it's hard to believe that 27 years has already gone by, and now I'm looking to do something different. So thank you, everybody. And I wish you the best of luck in whatever you're doing.
My name is Kay Pika, and this school year completes my 37th year of being a teacher. I've always had the desire to teach kids, and I hope I get to continue to do that in some way moving on in my future. I started out my career teaching emotionally disturbed students at the Elroy Kendall Wilton Middle School, and from there I moved on to Auburndale Middle School and High School, where I continued as a special needs teacher. In 1991, I moved back here to Tomah to take a job also teaching EBD students. I did that job for several years, and then was lucky enough to be able to move in to teaching math, which is something that I've greatly enjoyed over the years. This year marks my 30th year as an instructor here at Tomah. I've also been lucky to be involved with and had opportunity to take part in many advisory, coaching, and other leadership activities here, and I am thankful for those opportunities. My greatest passion in all the years that I've taught, the greatest one is teaching math. Nothing would give me greater joy or pleasure to see students be successful and maybe even learn to like math a little bit. I hope they felt that way as well. The staff here at Tomah Middle School is amazing, and I feel lucky to have worked with so many dedicated, caring, and professionals. Some of my most memorable experiences while teaching included taking our students on our annual VA fishery trip. It was a time really to see these students shine. The compassion and the care that they gave to those patients showed me what the character of our middle schools really is like. I also enjoyed attending many of the activities that students were involved in, like sporting events, band and choir, musicals, just to name a few. My advice that I would give to any new teachers coming to Tomah would be to make sure you enjoy every day. And also try to be involved in as many activities as you can, and especially creating great relationships with students. My plans upon retirement include spending time with my family, traveling, volunteering, and maybe even working on a new career. I'd like to thank the Tomah Area School District, staff, students, parents, and community for making my career one of the most enjoyable, memorable, and rewarding. Best wishes to Tomah Middle School.
Hi, my name is Terry Ware. I've been a teacher in the Tomah Area School District for 33 years. When I graduated from Tomah High School and went to UW La Crosse, I had no intention of having teaching be my career. I went to La Crosse and graduated with a degree in community health education. After graduation, I came back to Tomah and was a fitness consultant and aerobics instructor for 2 years. And at that time, I also started working with a special needs population at the high school here in Tomah. I met a wonderful woman and mentor while I was helping students with special needs. Her name was Catherine Randorf, and she encouraged me to go back and get my teaching license for special ed. So I did that, came back to Tomah and worked at North Tomah School with students with some very significant disabilities. Stayed there for a couple of years, and they moved our program, along with the early childhood program, to Lemonweir Elementary. After a couple of years working there with some amazing students and people, a position came open at Tomah Middle School, working with students with intellectual disabilities. I jumped at that chance, and I have remained here at TMS ever since. I can't imagine working with any other population than the students that I have. They just bring a joy to my heart and a smile to my face every day they walk in my classroom. Some other things that I've done with Tomah, high school dance coach for 28 years. I coached the dance team up until 2012 and developed some amazing friendships with those past dancers and their parents. Still maintain some of those relationships today. I resigned from coaching in 2012 so that I could attend our son's middle school events at that time, as he was entering here as a 6th grader. Took a couple years off of coaching, continuing to teach. And then in 2014, myself, along with a couple of our local gun clubs, were instrumental in getting our high school, middle school clay target team started. So I'm still in that position today as team manager and partial coach. I'm hoping to be able to help out in that capacity after I retire this year. Some of the things I'm really going to miss are my coworkers. I love the people I work with here at TMS, and I'm going to definitely miss my students, and like I said, just the joy that they bring to my heart every day. Some words of wisdom to teachers entering our profession: be patient, be kind, definitely be organized, and you really need to have a great sense of humor, and you will love every moment of your teaching career. Some things I'm looking forward to in retirement is just taking time for me, relaxing, spending some time with family, friends, and I love to travel, so I'm looking forward to doing more of that. I want to just thank the Tomah Area School District for the amazing opportunities that you have provided to me. I can't thank you enough for those. So it is with a smile on my face that I'm going on to the next chapter of my life. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom Wilkinson. I am retiring this year from teaching in Tomah Middle School is where I've been for the last 26 years, actually. But I started teaching 35 years ago, so I've been in education for 35 years. When I graduated from Platteville, I started in Spring Green, Wisconsin. That was my first school I taught in, River Valley School District. I was there for 9 years, teaching special ed, coaching football, basketball, and track, girls basketball, and then track. Really enjoyed that. That was a really good experience. I made some great memories and some great friends there. Still keep in contact with some of those. I moved up to Mauston after that. I've lived near Mauston, between Mauston and Lisbon, been teaching in Tomah, driving back and forth. I've enjoyed that. I teach health education here in the Tomah Middle School, but when I started, I was teaching special ed. I taught EDB for 2 years and then transferred over to health ed. I've been in health ed ever since. I've been in this room for 24 years. The room looks the same, but it's all right. Why did I become a teacher? Well, my family, I have 4 brothers, 4 sisters, there's 9 of us. My mother was a teacher in a one-room schoolhouse near where we lived, and 5 of the 9 in the family were teachers. So I'm the second youngest, so it was a family thing. That, and I had a coach slash teacher in middle school, 7th grade social studies coach and basketball coach that, or 7th grade social studies teacher and basketball coach that I kind of liked him as a teacher. And that kind of pointed me in the direction of education as well. My first memories from teaching, I really don't have any really fond memories, first memories. I think students doing things for me that were helpful and beneficial. But other than that, I really don't. What advice would I give to incoming teachers or people that want to become teachers? Keep a sense of humor. Find some things that help relieve stress, because teaching is a stressful job. You know, exercise or habits or hobbies or things like that that you really enjoy. I think that's really beneficial. Find a way to have an outlet for your stress and relieve that stress a little bit. What do I plan to do in retirement? Well, I have a daughter at home that's disabled. She's going to be 27 in May. So she lives with us and can't do much on her own. So my wife's been taking care of her. I need to take care of her. I need to help. We plan to do some traveling and enjoy ourselves for a little bit. I'm also part owner of a farm. So I'm going to be helping with the farm remodeling and getting that cleaned up and fixed up. So I guess that's about all I really need to share as I go into retirement. I kind of was hoping to go into retirement kind of quietly, but this will be okay. All right, so thanks guys for coming in and visiting and letting me share a little bit about me.